Oh, good. All right. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to meet you. I'm Albert
Albert?
Ramos. Yes.
Albert Ramos, nice to meet you.
you.
I'm
Here,
Alok
we'll get-
Mascara.
Yes, I saw that, and you were actually on one of the panels.
I was.
Can you walk us through? Well, one, who you are, and then I'd love to kind of do an after party of your panel and talk about. Let's see what you're talking about, and go from there. For those that couldn't make it.
I'm a chemical engineer.
Okay.
Current role, I'm the CEO of Lennox. Lennox is an HVAC company. We make
Yes.
heating, air conditioning,
yes.
cooling, ventilation, some refrigeration equipment. We are traded on New York Stock Exchange, public company.
Excellent.
14,000 employees. We have $24 billion in market cap.
Wow.
Good company, very good products.
And how long have you been with them?
I've been in the company 2.5 years.
Okay. And over the last 2.5 years, and now that we jumped into 2025, and as you look over the next 5 years, where do you see Lennox going?
Lennox has got a massively strong history. We're 130 years old. So it was founded back in Marshalltown, Iowa, 1895.
Heartland.
The heartland. And since then, it's had a continuous growth trajectory. We have kind of used to make riveted steel furnace. Now we make air conditioners, heating, cooling, fancy thermostats, and that continues. It evolves with the industry. We have a unique proposition that we don't sell to distribution. We sell directly to the contractor, which means we are much closer to the contractor compared to anybody else in the industry. That gives us an advantage. So to answer your question is, in future, the distributor business is becoming a little bit obsolete now, right? Because if you think about the digital technology, inventory management, local
Right.
networks, freight, all that's become easier. So we are very well positioned to continue gaining share, continue serving some of the bigger contractors and smaller ones, and introduce new products. A lot of those are through AI, because now you can't build a thermostat unless you have AI technology.
So I was going to ask you about that. So when you were chatting about what Lennox does, and by the way, I'm a big fan, big follower, and I've seen the growth and great job. And you being at the leadership helm, obviously.
Well, thank you. I have a good team.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's great. I thought of smart home, smart commercial building, right? That's a huge focus, especially on the sustainability front.
Right.
Can you walk us through what you all are investing in from a technology side, and then also too with this heavy need for and passion for sustainability? How does Lennox support that as well?
Sure, no, I'll do both. So I think start from the what are we doing, right? If you think of any building, let's say a home, the largest energy user is typically your HVAC system. Whether it's a gas in a furnace or electric in electronic. Living in Dallas, you definitely would know it, right?
Exactly. Especially now that the temperature has changed dramatically, it's
going to flip out.
Right.
So that's the biggest user of energy. And as you know, energy is the largest source for carbonization.
Right.
Or working on energy efficiency is the best way to work on decarbonization. We are proud to make not the one of them, the world's most efficient air conditioner. We make products which are 28 SEER. You don't need to know what SEER is, except that everybody else is lower than that.
Yeah.
It has lowered my energy bill.
It does.
I had a new Lennox installed last summer,
Excellent.
and the price has just dropped significantly.
Yeah.
So efficient.
When my contractor who installed it, Sean was telling me, he said, this thing sips energy, it doesn't drink energy compared to the old system. So we do that, right? So that's, first you got to make the products energy efficient. Second is, you can modulate when the product runs. You leave your air conditioning on the entire time. You're never home 24 hours, right? To be going. So the new thermostats we have, the apps we have, they can
Do it from your
self-modulate.
phone.
Not just that, they can also, if you set it the right conditions, they'll automatically modulate. It's like self-learning mechanism. So we have sensors in there, so we have technology, and you have remote sensors. So typically problem with air conditioning is some part of the house is too hot, some is too cold. And now you can have a sensor that you can literally carry with you, and it'll get you the temperature of that part of the house to right. So we have those technology. Finally, we have a joint venture with Samsung. And Samsung, as you know, is number 3 brand in global, largest sellers of things like TVs and now appliances.
So the IoT, the
The
internet.
IoT.
Yeah.
So we are 100% compatible with Samsung Smart Things. So now you can use Samsung Smart Things, put it all together, your energy, your appliances, your TVs. Of course, we are compatible with Amazon Alexa and Nest and everything else. So we want to make sure our system's compatible with anything else you're using on residential side. Same on the commercial. We're compatible with all BMS systems. So we're kind of open protocol. Anybody can book with our protocols and make it work. So from that perspective, sustainability is as defined is one of our guiding behaviors,
It's excellent.
which simply says we care about our planet and we care about the communities where we work and live. So this is about the planet, but we do a lot of work on community work as well. So
As you saw, Jason being a customer, I mean, if he cares about that, it's a great. I mean, he feels great about investing in your product because it's making a difference.
it does. The other thing we do, which you might know, we have a program called Feel the Love. So every
Feel
year,
to love.
Feel the Love,
Yeah.
which every year between 500 to 1,000 units we give free to deserving homeowners. And this could be about veterans, needy family, church volunteers.
Wow.
And we do it in partnership with a contractor or a dealer. The dealer will give labor, they will give supplies, we give the unit. And it's the largest program of its kind where a lot of deserving families get their free. So we want to be a not just a good company, like we want to be a really good company, care about the communities.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, so I mean, we talked earlier about hyper personalization. It sounds like this is where you're going. That I may want the temperature at 70, and my wife may want it at 75, and so based on where she goes, the temperature will then increase.
My advice is listen to your wife. Yeah, number one. So first of all,
That's good
I don't know if it's a
advice.
technology advice or anything else, but let the
It's great,
temperature be
great,
whatever
great
she
personal
wants, right?
advice forever.
Yeah.
Always
Just
listen to
just
your
listen
wife.
to her. Let the temperature be what she wants.
Here's the beauty of live, by the way. I'm just going to quickly just reposition us a little bit,
Okay.
just so we can
Okay.
get
Just so I
Jason in
can.
the
All
shot
right.
as well. No, this is great. I'm curious, right? And not to put you on the put you on the spot on this one. Where from a categorization, right? Because you do multiple different products. What category is thriving and that you're really excited about? And then what are maybe some of the categories that you're hoping for better growth
Right.
over the next coming years?
Sure. I'll tell you something, sir, which is interesting. People don't realize this, but the HVAC industry is similar in a way to the automotive industry. So let me give you an analogy, right?
Hmm.
Just like you have EVs and electric vehicles,
Right.
we have what's called heat pumps. Just like we have gasoline engines, we have furnaces, right? And then there are hybrids in between. The reason I'm drawing that parallel is for us, the hybrids are doing very well. And that's a category we like a lot because that means, let's say it's a really cold and it's 15 degrees outside, your furnace would run because at that point the heat pump's not very efficient and may not be able to heat the house properly. But on a normal day, when it's 45 or 50 degrees outside, you will run a heat pump. So you get the best of both. So you get the right kind of natural heating with natural gas. But most days you don't need that. You just use a heat pump, which is 2 to 300 times more efficient than a traditional heating system. That's a category that's growing very well. Hybrids, which heat pumps also growing. Hybrids are growing well. And furnace is something that we're proud of, but it's obviously 20 years from now, people may not have furnaces
Right.
as technology catches up. So that's kind of where we are. One of the things that we're also doing very well is now you may have a product in your main home, but you want to just put a room above your garage, or you're doing a bedroom addition. In US, it's very hard to put that room in appropriate way without doing duct work and ripping
Sure.
out drywall.
There's a lot that goes into that.
So we have a joint venture with Samsung where we sell products known as mini splits. Very excited. Now this will be called Lennox, powered by Samsung.
Wow.
Wow.
Unique proposition because Samsung usually does not co-brand,
Right.
but our partnership with them in such a way that you can use that for home additions.
How'd you do
above your
that, by
garage.
the way? How'd you get that deal?
Lots of tip. You gotta go to Korea and you gotta drink a lot of soju. You drink a lot of soju, you go to Korea, you get a Samsung
That's
partnership.
excellent.
It's easy.
That is good advice. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
So
Go ahead,
let me
Jason.
talk about the other side of it on the factory side. I think that's another one where we're starting to help out some companies using some humanoid robots to be able to have that AI to start building that. How automated is your factories, and what are those other opportunities that you're thinking of where AI could disrupt that?
Could be more automated. We have run very good factories. They're large factories. If you go to one of factories, there'll be a big air conditioner coming down the conveyor every 30 to 40 seconds. So you can imagine. So our factories are pretty large, automated, but it could be more. The challenge of labor has always been there. It's getting a little worse, and it's probably going to get a lot worse.
Right.
We do majority of our manufacturing in US. We do quite a bit of manufacturing in Mexico as well, but that's mostly because we can't find the appropriate labor in US. Factories are
Can you unravel that a little bit? What do you mean by the challenge of labor and then the labor in US? Are you talking about from a cost perspective?
no availability. We are
Got it,
like
for
we have factories.
the actual specialty.
People, kids wanting to work in manufacturing. How many kids come out of high school and say, "I'm excited to go work in manufacturing"?
Yeah.
Well, I'll move widgets from A to B all day long for the next 60 years. It doesn't happen anymore. They want to do
They're
different
spot on.
things.
They
They
want
want to do
they
gig
want to
economy.
program the robot
Yeah,
that's
they
making
want Code
move from
Whiz,
A
they
to
want
A to B.
smart, what is the Minecraft, like they want to go build, they want to go do things digitally.
They want flexibility. They want to be in a gig economy, right? They
Gig
want to
economy, yeah.
they want to do other stuff. Just the charm of manufacturing is sort of worn off of people, and they're hard to attract. Like, the other thing is these factories are not in like midtown Manhattan, right? I mean, we have Stuttgart, Arkansas, which is like a very rural area.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of that migration from rural to urban is hurting us as well, because you just don't have enough population pool in those areas, right? Because all the jobs are moving in that way. That's a challenge there. We are typically, when we are, let's just location Stuttgart, Arkansas, we're the highest paying employer in that area.
Yeah.
So it's not about the pay,
Right.
but we still have to open a factory
You
somewhere
have
else.
to have that quality of life also. So once you're out of the office and out of the factory, what else are you doing?
Exactly.
So what's the solution then? How do you go find? Is there some training programs that Lennox is doing?
We do. We invest a lot in training. We go to trade schools. We work with
Excellent.
trade schools on
Yeah.
that. We have foundation where we spend a lot of money on education. We have, I'm trying to count the number, but let's say 10 plus training centers across US where we train ourselves. We call it Build a Tech Program, BAT. So we build our own technicians. We train our own workers. We have
Build a tech program.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And do you know if is there any of those locations in Texas?
Yeah, our headquarters in Richardson. We have a training center
You have it?
right in our Richardson
It's amazing.
center. So yeah.
My background's in finance and economics, and I haven't been on any quarterly calls recently, but I'm curious, just as you mentioned, there's some international exposure as well. How do the tariffs with the new administration impact Lennox and the bottom line?
Very soon, and I'll do an SEC filing about this issue. Right?
Hold on, editors.
Listen, the tariffs, first of all, the costs go up, right?
Right.
But on tariffs, we have a fairly well-defined strategy that we've talked to all our customers and all our employees. The first thing we will do is protect our customers.
Excellent.
So, because the customers are often small contractors, they get nervous. They don't understand. In fact, one of them just texted me while I was walking over, right? Uh, Protect the customer, protect the supply chain. We do not want to disrupt the supply chain. We don't want a repeat of COVID. We
Right.
don't want to be shortages. We want people to have access to air conditioning and furnace and all. That's the number one priority. Number two for us is try and mitigate the impact of tariffs as much as possible through productivity, through currency. So let's take Mexico as an example. If there are tariffs coming from Mexico, Mexican currency goes down. We got to take advantage of that. We got to push our suppliers who work in that currency to make sure they take some burden. We got to get our material source there. So I think push some of that out, right?
Right.
And then finally, we'll have to pass through the extra cost in the most disciplined, most respectful way, while working on long-term solutions. Because the tariffs, the way it's going on is none of us will have the time to open new factories or move new factories.
Too quick.
That takes
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So I think for us, 1, 2, 3, protect our customer, get productivity, and unfortunately pass on the rest as cost increases.
From a payroll line item, does it impact there? Does it impact the people internal?
Not in the short term, no. I mean, part of this just comes down to is no factory is flexible. We have, as I said, multiple factories in US. We have 3, 4 in Mexico as well. You can't shift things back and forth that quickly. That takes years.
Right.
So you can't have any impact in the short term.
Makes sense. This was excellent. Wow.
I appreciate
know
being
you're
here.
I know you're super busy. We're so lucky to be able to have you here, and I'm already getting texts from Nick and some other attendants that were there for your panel, and they're just blown away. So great meeting you. I look forward to keeping in touch.
Thank you.
And
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you
stay
too.
in touch.
Thank you for everything
Take care.
you do.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Shoot,
that.
I think you're gonna get a second customer. You have one already there.
Thank you. One
Thank
more.
you so much. Yes,
Appreciate
have a
it.
good one. Oh, great. Oh, here, I'm so sorry. We have actually this book. It's the Handbook for Chief AI Officers.
Okay.
And we have a co-author here that signed it himself.
Great.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much,
it.
sir. We
Thanks.
really
Take care.
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Nice suit, by the way. Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
Okay, so we're just we got some talent. We got some talent. Oh my goodness.
Very much so.
That was impressive to be on that. I know Mr. Mascara was on the panel earlier. I was curious what he would want to chat about, and he gave it to us real,
Absolutely.
right? So we kind of going backwards, the tariff situation, because I know a lot of organizations are thinking about that and how it's
How it's going
impacting
to impact them, how it's going to impact their
customer
factories.
base, the factory, the supply chain, their team members, right? And clearly, it's a well thought out conversation with him and his team. I love that he also loved on his team because it's a great company. Lennox, that's an amazing organization, and to hear what they're doing,
And even having the factories here in the U.S., not a lot of companies are doing that anymore.
Yeah.
So having that there,
and he brought up some states in the heartland, like the central part of Arkansas, Iowa is I think where they're originated from, and they've been around for what 130 140 years, he said. So great company. And also, right, because we've been talking a lot about startups, this is a mature enterprise that's also being
staple
innovative.
of the U.S.
Staple of the U.S. I mean, within every home, commercially as well, not just residentially. And they're also thinking about AI. He's also thinking about ways to have a more of a competitive edge, give back to his team members, give back to his customers, right, with great product, help the climate and the environment. So there's just a lot of things going on there that I'm excited about. So I'm looking forward to continuing to be a fan, but shoot, being a customer too.
Yeah, no, it's been great. Yeah, the energy efficiency has been just night and day of going into the new Lennox.
I learned a ton around not just the automation, but it can actually learn through the climate, the environment, and make adjustments there. Which I had some questions about. Well, what does that do, like the maintenance worker and all